Let's talk about love, namely loving ourselves unapologetically. I just finished one of my TOSA healing journeys, and I wanted to share with you some of what I spoke about in that session, which was really birthed actually from a profound, embodied self-love experience a student had in my Become Unapologetically You course this week, when she really embraced how unworthy of love she felt. And before we get deep into the conversation, for those who don't know, my name is Kelly Carpenter. I'm a transcendent meditation teacher with decades of experience. I'm a breathwork practitioner and mentor. I'm also an intuitive healing and relationship coach. But all that really means is that I help people break the cycle of dysfunctional patterns, past hurt, and really redefine what's defining them so that they can experience what it means to love and be loved without apology. Why? Because I'm assuming even you, regardless of where you are on your journey, like everyone else, has a desire to truly be seen, to be held, and to be loved exactly where you are. Have you ever been angry or hurt and just wanted the space to vent, to be witnessed, to be held as you were in that moment, without the pressure to change, to heal, or to be fixed? Having someone to hold space for us, to truly see us, to believe in us, is not to be underestimated at all. And yet, ultimately, it is us that needs to hold space for ourselves, to truly see ourselves, to truly love ourselves exactly where we are. There's no magic pill that's going to save us. We are our truest heroes and saviors. And we are actually hardwired to move through emotions regardless of what they are. We're drawn towards healing physically, emotionally, mentally. I mean, if we cut ourselves, our body just naturally wants to heal. Children naturally forgive and let go. We learn how to hold on, to hold grudges, to keep ourselves small, to not listen within and love. We intuitively know hurt, anger, unworthiness is the path through, but most of us haven't had the support or been given the tools to truly be with our difficult feelings, to turn towards the pain with deep presence, acceptance, and love. Most of us have gotten really good at stuffing them, projecting them, numbing them, disassociating from them, because it's too painful. Most end up searching for things outside of themselves to fill that gap, to fill that void. But nothing outside will ever be your answer. The answers that you're seeking are actually found within. And it's the skill of holding and loving what is as it is. That means our doubt, our shame, our pain. By holding that, loving what is, it actually sets us free. So the conversation this past week was on how can we accept and love our difficult feelings so that we can access our true brilliance and wisdom that's trapped in the center. Instead of thinking we're going to love ourselves when we can just change this or change that about ourselves. Or we're going to feel loved, truly feel loved, when this thing or that thing happens to us. In my sessions and courses, I share how to hold space for ourselves, exactly where we are, in the name of love. Because when we learn how to love what we might think is unlovable or less than perfect, that's when we open to the perfection at the core of our being, the part of us that is purely and unapologetically love. This part of us is who we are searching for and nothing more. When we can love ourselves in this way, it opens the door for others to love us in this way too. We also become capable then of loving others with less condition. So I'm assuming if you're watching already this far, that you're really ready to step into greater love for yourself and for those around you. One of the processes that we did in the recent session was a radical inquiry process. And I'm inviting you now to really take a few moments to connect deeply within this moment, within your physical body, and use these inquiry questions to help unravel what is truly stopping you from experiencing the profound love that exists within you. You're welcome to either write down the questions first and journal about them later, or maybe you want to pause the video, find a few moments to really get centered, to listen within deeply as I ask them. Either way, it's really important to not overthink. The art of inquiry is more important than the answers. And allowing the answers to rise from within allows for the unconscious to become conscious, invoking new possibilities and inviting true embodied healing, just like my client did, where she was able to drop in that Become Unapologetically You session so profoundly, and to really hold that deep space for this part of her that felt completely unworthy of love. She did that to the point that she dropped down, witnessing this part of her that felt unworthy and experiencing this deep, profound, visceral experience of love that existed in the center of who she is. And that is her guiding light in and amongst now the ebbs and flows of life, the times where it seems a little distant. She has a visceral, experiential, embodied experience of that love, and it will forever be her guiding light. So I invite you now to follow these inquiry questions, really drop in, tune in, listen with your entire awareness. Breathe as if you can breathe into your entire body, deep into your hips. And allow the answers to come. What would it take to love myself more? What would it take to love myself more? Breathe. Listen, and then notice. What is stopping me from loving myself more? What is stopping me from loving myself more? Inquire, listen. What am I afraid would happen if I loved myself more? What am I afraid would happen if I loved myself more? Breathe and feel. Breathe and listen. What must I believe in order to not love myself fully? What must I believe to not love myself fully, unapologetically? Breathe and notice. How do I benefit from not loving myself unapologetically? How do I benefit from not fully loving myself unconditionally? Breathe, What is the cost of not loving myself unconditionally? What is it costing me to not love myself unconditionally? Breathe and inquire. What would happen if I loved myself unapologetically? Breathe and tune in. Open to what's there. What would happen if I loved myself unapologetically? What would happen if I loved myself unapologetically? What would you be experiencing? How would you show up in the world? How would you hold space for those you love or even struggle to love? What would happen if you loved yourself without condition? And with that, if you would love to join my next Become Unapologetically You course, it's just around the corner. Or maybe join an online healing session, which is on the 1st and the 3rd Saturday of every month. If you're local to BC, to Kelowna, feel free to join me on Sundays live in person for these sessions. So feel free to direct message me, book an inquiry session, reach out. I'd love to support you. There's nothing more beautiful than truly loving yourself, holding space for the dark and the light, because there is no dark or light. Everything is here with purpose. Much love and many blessings.